Hey guys, I am DM Zone. This is Gamers Oasis. We're going to do campaign of diary number 7. Okay, so this campaign diary, guys, is a little bit different. They all are, really. But this one was in particular. Because this one here, they found the Hall of Heroes. They looked at the different stuff. They decided what they were going to do. They were going to pull some stuff off. They were going to take it with them so that they had looters' rights. And then stuff that the people that were going to own Rodemus Keep wanted back. They would then talk maybe about selling it back to them and that type of stuff. So let's go from there. If you remember last, they went through some sort of Temple of Light with a bunch of elemental pools, and they found a hall with 16 little like platform type things where they had different things from everything from statuette bus type things to like just a pile of maps and books on the pedestal. But let's take a look at the map real quick. You can see here, I'm going to use Edgar White's again to go through this. This is the Hall of Heroes. Right down there is the Temple of Light that we did. They have now gone through this way. Through here, they have found, but there is some sort of monolism, whatever that word is. I can't really think it right this second, sorry. All right, my words are not working. It's too early in the morning, I should really say. Anyways, it's a crypt. So it's a nicer version of the same thing. They started out skipping the room to the south. They couldn't go through the room to the north. They're interested about where that might go. But they eventually got this door open. They found a dead dwarf. Okay, real quickly here, you can see here, I'm going to have some of this blurred out, I think. I have a letter talking about the dwarf Jacob. He would have lived if it had only been kobolds, but it wasn't, and he died. This looks like Jacob's tome. And in there, there's sniff about water. So they don't know 100% what that's about, but it certainly seems like maybe it has to do with the elemental water or whatever. They're kind of piecing it together. They didn't go south yet. We'll come back to that. They continue down this way, found the inside of another secret door, which they're really enjoying finding the inside of the secret door, like they're in the backside of the dungeon exploring things, knowing that if they were coming the other way, they would be going through all these rooms and they wouldn't know where the secret doors were because they just don't see them. Like, that experience was a good experience for them. We'll get to what these other lines are and why there's a blue line here in a second. Remember this one right now. So they were walking through here and they found all these sarcophagi. And they were pretty excited. They found another way down. This was a new one. They're like, wow, there's a lot of ways down. They got into this room. And then right over here, they heard this door shut. Boom. The dungeon shut the door on. They ended up finding their way back through it, and they put a pitting into the ground so that the door couldn't shut. Because they still don't know how to open the secret door from the other side, which is really funny. Alright. They come through here, and I'm just going to zoom out a little so you can see it. They essentially explored this. All the way down to here. And they're like, man, this is a honeycomb of a maze. And they had players on all sides of this. And then what ended up happening is they had right here Squiggles. She steps out to here and she got ambushed by undead. Ghouls came out of here and zombies started to come out of here. And there was only one ghoul. And the ghoul was actually not the first one to attack. She thought she was doing pretty good there for a minute. The ghoul came over here and attacked her. And man, it was a bad day. It rolled 2 natural 20s, which is not a mag hit basically. And then it rolled 2 6s on a D3. So it was really 6 points of damage. So it rolled max damage twice. And it rolled automatic hits essentially, taking her from 7 hit points to 1 hit point. So she ended up getting her upper right arm marred with wounds. which is something I'm doing in my game. If you fall to below your, or equal to or below your level and hit points, you get some sort of permanent scarring. Now eventually you can get a lesser restoration type spell or whatever. A third level spell put on there to remove it if you really didn't like the location of it. But that's just that. The party did all sorts of things. One of the clerics went this way. They come around and try and do this, and different clerics try to turn. They got the zombies to run away. They killed the skeletons real quick. The ghoul was killed in melee. They ended up killing them all. None of them ended up escaping. Then they went searching, and they found eventually the secret passage. And oof, they did not know what they were getting. I was very nervous for them. There was a door here, and from basically here on, I talked about the fact that it looks like there is blood, there's scrape, there's bone fragments. They knew they were stepping into something before they got there. It was the first time that they had seen open gore in the dungeon. Also, this part of the dungeon was nicer, just like they'd seen in the backside of other ones. They opened this door, stepped into the room a little bit, and then right in here, yep, you can see it, there was a hunched over person, and then just past them there was another hunched over person. And as the light came in and hit them and they were making a little bit of noise, they could see that there was dead bodies throughout the room, and that this person was literally chewing on the body of another person and had like the typical, the old foot in the mouth type of thing. He's chewing on the leg, you know. And then the one behind it stands up and starts to basically, in a very feral, inhuman way, start to roar at them. And then from back here outside their torchlight, they saw eyes turn and face them. And it was initiative. This room ended up having 3 ghouls and 2 tools, or thools. And that was quite the fight. I nicknamed this room the feeding room when I was doing character creation. And it was funny is one of the players, it was actually the cleric, ended up drawing this skull, and he didn't realize that we could see it. So he drew us a nice little skull on there and kind of went off on it. The cleric, Henrik, got a real good turn, ended up turning the undead. He is 2nd level, so he's able to turn thools, which are 3 hit dice. Odile, who is not 2nd level, still 1st level, was not able to turn undead. That said, they had the 3 undead ghouls go over there, allowed them to fight the thools by themselves. It wasn't a extremely close fight because they were able to take on these guys essentially one at a time while they broke the turn undead. But they, it was a tough fight, for sure. It was a tough fight. And they knew with the paralyzation and the fact that some of them were getting paralyzed as they went, and the only one that was immune was the single elf, that this was a fight that could go badly for them quickly. Luckily, paralyzation does not last anywhere near as long as the turn undead, so they were good. You can see here there's these blue hash marks, so let me get into that. They decided to look into these tomes to make sure none of these had undead in them that would come up behind them, since these seem to be very important. Also, if there was anything in there that of extreme value, they wanted to have that conversation before the people that would probably come loot this place anyways, the new owners or people, you know, grave robbers, whatever. So they wanted to have that conversation. So they have not gone through the paupers catacombs, this big honeycomb network over here, looking for silvers and whatnot. They feel like that's probably not the best idea. There will be items over here if they were to do that, just so you know. I did do that. But what I did here on all of these large sarcophagi was essentially I had my notes physically. It got moved. Anyways, oh, here it is. So there was a 20% chance of gems or jewelry or a magic item, right? And there was a 5% chance of there being an undead in there because there was a necromancer near at one point in time. Obviously, it was undead. So if they rolled in the top 80%, 80 or above, there was you roll a d6 afterwards. On a 1, you got jewelry. On a 2 to 5, you got a gem. And on a 6, you got a magic item. And I was going to do this completely 100% random. All the minuses is where they rolled to see if anything appeared. But if it didn't have a plus sign, then they didn't find anything. They couldn't roll above 80% or below 5% to save their life. Literally. So all of these right here, there's so far this is 9. So, and then they go all the way over here. There's a total of 12 of these crypts. No, excuse me, 15 of these crypts. No, I was right. There's 6 there, 3 above, and then 3 over here. So a total of 12. They rolled this one first, and then they rolled these 2 at the same time because they're just like, we're hoping something happens. And they ended up both getting above 80%. One was like a 96%. The other one was like a 91%. And I was like, all right, go ahead and roll. And they both rolled a 1. And they're like, oh. I was like, well, jewelry. Cool. I said, now roll 3d6, just like you would if you were a DM. You know, it's exactly how it happens. They both rolled 11. So I decided to go ahead on the moment and say, okay, we're going to go with, since we're right next to each other, it's the only 2 items we found. I'm going to throw a little bit your way, and there is no more of these in this dungeon. So they're done with this little game. I may do this in future dungeons because it was so popular with the group, but there's no more in this one. I'm going to have the jewelry be matching. I'm going to have it be exactly the same, and I'm going to have it be enchantable, so they can put enchantments on it. And they're going to have matching necklaces worth 1,100 gold to do that, which will do a moderate level enchantment. So that was what it was. If they had gone the other way, 1 would have been a white, 2 would have been a ghoul, 3 to 4 would have been a zombie, and 5 to 6 would have been a skeleton. But they never had that happen. Alright, so they decided to go ahead and go back to the Temple of Light. And now what they know, I'm going to go ahead and have you disappear in a second. Oops. Oh, I'm over here pushing the wrong buttons. So what they know is, Merry Christmas. What they know, still doing it, they have not been this way. They've not been any of these downward ways, and that's what they have to do next to clear out this area. And then they don't know about inside these tomes or crypts or whatever, and I'll let you know. Down this way is not necessarily a huge amount of fights, but it's going to answer a lot about the Temple of Light. And yeah, there probably will be a fight, but that's what they know. And then they got to go down these tunnels, and that will be probably another week, maybe 2. They spent another half day because they did rest a night for the cleric to get back a spell, which he used to help with one of the party members who was down to and he and had to remove the paralyzation. So that's basically where they are. Is they have a day and a half essentially left. They really can't spend another period of time resting. So they're going to have to do this next push within the day. And then they're going to go back and then basically essentially get everything, get permission to continue on down through this place to help secure this place. Or they're going to have to stay an extra day or so, push down through it, and they may or may not be there when the Lord originally arrives. And they're going to have to decide what they're going to do about that, because that's may or may not be something they want to have happen as well. Anyways, so that's where we are. The party has now got a greater understanding of the Hall of Heroes. Everything but what is secret has been explained. They've not done the translations. They've not done those type of things. So they need to go ahead and just, get that part figured out. They know it's going to take research, and then they can go from there. So they're expecting some downtime once they clear out this dungeon and make it secure. And we're probably going to reform the party a little bit. I'm actually kind of holding off on gaining new players until they're done with this part, because I almost feel like it's unfair for someone to come in right now when all the good stuff is being given out. When most of this party has been through, 5, 6, case of Sanev's case, like 9, 10, days of adventure, and someone who just steps in and gets all the loot like they would get. And this is going to be the time where they've killed 80% of the undead. They've killed 100% of the goblins. There's a little bit of the were-rat stuff to deal with. Eventually there'll be like some sort of nemesis, but not right now. And they are basically through that part. So now it's just reclaiming this part and then getting the reward from the Lord or the noble that's coming here to take over the keep. And then help rebuilding of the keep. And during the rebuilding of the keep, there'll be plenty of time for people to go ahead and join the group and that type of stuff. But anyways, guys, if this is the type of video you like and you want to see more of this, let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think. And let me know if you've done something different or what your thoughts on this. So far, this has been very well received, both online and in-game. A lot of people, I feel like the spin I put on this Rodemus Keep. This will probably become a pretty big backdrop when I'm done with this for my BX campaigns and maybe Big Me campaigns if I ever do any of those, because I think it's set in a good place. There's good dungeons, good adventure around it. I'm going to add more as I go, especially when I get into like Big Me and that type of stuff. But for what we have here with the 4 different modules that I've really been wanting to do, I think it's pretty amazing. And the question is, am I going to do anything in AD&D towards this? I don't know. I've been looking to do the Slave series or the Against the Giants, but there's a chance I might be doing Against the Giants in my actual twice monthly game. But since that's so far down the road, I'd be doing that. I might do it here too, just because I think that'd be a lot of fun. Anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoy this. Keep watching the videos. If you want to see more like this, or if you got value out of this, hit the like button. It helps the algorithm, gets it out to more people. It's just a great way of saying thank you. I appreciate what you did, because I appreciate you guys watching so far. And if you really want to see what I do next, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit the bell so you can get notified when something else comes up. Thank you, and I guys hope you guys thank you, and I hope you guys have a great day.